Carpet cleaners, on this week's episode, we have someone very, very special. No other than Ryan Eger. He is our head of sales and operations here at Carpet Boost AI. This guy is an absolute legend in the world of sales. He's been there, done it, seen it, got the t-shirt. And so I wanted to bring him on the show this week because I think he's got a lot of value to share to you carpet cleaners in terms of actionable advice, hints, tips in terms of generating more sales for your carpet cleaning business, how to overcome some of those objections, how to upsell in the home. Ryan is going to be sharing loads of value bombs around all that kind of stuff. So don't miss out. Do watch this till the end. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Welcome to the show, Mr. Ryan Eger. It's a pleasure to have you here. Do you want to kind of just start by kind of giving us your origin story, like how you got into sales? Tell us about your journey so far through life that's brought you here to Carpet Boost AI and head of sales and operations.
Well, first and foremost, to all you carpet cleaners, I just want to hand it over to my friend, my colleague, and the owner of this company, Mr. John Henry Williams. He's just been a huge inspiration ever since 2018. When he reached out to me and seen what I was doing in the sales world, the marketing world, and the development world of small business. So a little bit about me. My name's Ryan. I came up from a very, very small town where your name is well known. And it's well known because it was a very small village where I came from in upstate New York. I'm actually, as you see the boat behind me, I'm in the Carolinas now. I'm on the East Coast. I'm loving life. It's sunny down here. But the way I actually got started was seasonal, just like you guys. Okay, so I know everything about when he says the t-shirt. I did sweat out the t-shirt in the months of when it was colder, when it was warmer, right? But that doesn't stop sales. So the way that, I got into sales was I didn't go through education, 4 or 5, 6 year degree of an MBA. What I would have liked to, I don't know. But all I knew when I got out of, 10th, 11th grade, my dad was running a small lawn care business, something like you guys have as a service business, right? And we had to figure out how to increase, tickets around the area. So that was me back in the day when you guys thought yellow pages and calling up people was the ticket. I was pushing the lawnmower from, one house to the next, trying to fill up, my actual sock drawer at home because that was all I had to live off of. He gave me a lawnmower. He provided me with some gas. And when I got 16, I had a junky truck that I just went from, place to place saying, hey, this is an issue. Would you like me to go ahead and mow that? So I actually came up a little bit differently. I came up in the trenches, the sweat, the blood, the tears, the learning like you guys did of how actually to get into to the business, to the houses of people that didn't expect you with a red or a black lawnmower just walking down the street.
Awesome. That's an amazing story. And I was going to interrupt you there actually and talk about like your dad. God bless his soul, man, about the lawn care and stuff. One of the things that really attracted me to you and in terms of me hiring you and stuff like that for the business is the fact that you do come from that blue collar service based background. It's in your blood, it's in your family. So that the service-based home service industry inside out because you've been there, you've done it. And all right, we deal with carpet cleaners, you were doing lawn care, but it's all the same, right? At the end of the day, whether you're cleaning the carpet, whether you're pressure washing the front drive or cutting the grass, effectively, you're tidying up exactly what our feet walk on, whether that's a carpet, like I say, whether it's grass, whether it's a front drive, it's the same thing. So I think that's awesome that you've obviously had that experience and you come from that background. And I think that's important in being able to talk to our clients and be on a level with them that they understand and that they can connect with. Tell us about, before you obviously came to Carpet Boost AI, I'm aware that you had a couple of other 2 or 3, I think, sales roles before joining us. Do you want to just tell us about some of those other jobs that you've had in the sales world?
Yeah. And I did it, because I was on the same mission when I started at 14 years old as a little entrepreneur, like I just said. And I grow, into this new world where my mentor, my father, right before I knew about online education, I was door to door like you guys. I was no different, right? We're all in that, could be 18. I'm talking to you right now. I could be 65, but we're all talking the same language when it comes to talking to different people. It's an educational field. So in the field, I want to let you know that I came and built systems along my commission jobs, because when you get commission jobs in corporate, I've dealt with cellular sales, right? I've dealt with barges and imports going across from country to country with 6-7 figures tagged on. So when it came to my portion of what I got into before I talked to John here at Carpet Boost AI, was still the sale of an emotion, right? We have to have a pain and we have to have a solution. So to kind of get back to John's point of what other sales jobs did I have, most of these sales jobs, were non-committal. What I meant by that is there was no base. There was no, solution where, oh my gosh, if I don't get paid today, I don't eat. This was all in, right? So you had to really make your way. And it's a true world where you entrepreneurs that I'm talking to right now, that feeling every single day. And that's why it's so important. A lot of carpet cleaners come from, right? The 9 to 5. Everybody's working that grind, right? And then you don't want to work for your boss anymore. You want to, make your own dreams come true. So my next step in my career with sales was I proposed a deal to work with a sales trainer. Eric Lofholm was his name, out of California. And we learned how to overcome, these different objections that you may be handling or having to handle inside of homes, and different kind of programs that would help you guys overcome these, different ideas of how to get more leads, how to get more sales, how to overcome more objections. So that was a great fit in my portfolio, right, to go ahead and get to a larger ticket. And this is when the virtual world really made sense to me. When you have a done-for-you system, this is what got me really excited before I met John. A done-for-you system that you can actually go and have a peace of mind, enjoy your family, run the business the way you want to run it, delegate it with your type of, owner operator type decisions that you can decide what you want to do. We had created a very super high ticket repair business where you could actually just invest into a system that could obviously create and help overcome a pain into a solution with some credit repairs. So that was a really, really cool solution. And the one thing I was going to tell you guys that really kind of as a hack, you got to get to that person that wants your actual business, right? That doesn't have problems going ahead and investing in themselves. And people have to see, that amount of value back from what you're trying to offer them. So I hope that helps.
Cool. Absolutely. Well, that neatly brings me onto the next section of this video, this podcast, where I really want to get into the nitty gritty now. We've heard a little bit about you. We've heard about your story, your past experience, why people should listen to you, etc., etc. So I really want to dig into some real actionable advice, some really good value now that we can pass on to the viewers watching this to really help them in their carpet cleaning business. And so the big question is, what advice would you give to carpet cleaners watching this to help them close more of the inquiries that they get? What is your big piece of advice that you would give to them that they can do today, right now, that's going to increase the number of jobs that are on their schedule, apart from sign up with us, of course?
Always, right? Always. So I'm going to be straight to the point. I told you I wore the t-shirt. I give the raw, right? It's a system, guys. It's a system. You have to have an SOP, a standard operating procedure, a system, an operation that works 24/7, 365, because a lot of you guys are missing the beat of when you're out on the actual job. You're trying to have a 2-hour date with your wife. You're with your kids, right? You need a solution to pick up what everybody is, because somebody's trying to call you right now while you're listening to this, and you're doing something else. Let's just think about it realistically, guys. We need a system, right, that can conduct a little bit of actual curiosity like you have now, right, and get them into a system of an autoflow, an automation that actually continues to ask questions that you don't have time to ask or answer or help
So,
with.
so basically, the number one piece of advice, and actually, to be honest with you, I think that this is actually really good advice. Anybody watching this, like, listen to what I'm about to tell you, right? We've got on here a really great, amazing sales guy. He works for me. He wouldn't be working for me if he wasn't great. He's great. And he's not telling you to go and read this or that book, or he's not giving you any psychological trick or certain wording or that's going to magically fill your calendar when you speak to somebody on the phone. No. What Ryan is talking about here, it's not necessarily about your own personal sales skills. What he's talking about is investing in technology, leveraging things like automation, like AI, so that you can follow up with those leads, overcome those objections, close more deals, get more people on the schedule when you're out in the field and you can't pick up the phone or you can't answer messages, or you're at the movies with your wife or at your kid's birthday or whatever, and you can't get to the phone. The biggest piece of advice that Ryan is giving you right now is that you need a system. And that system's going to involve cutting edge technology. If you're trying to write things down on a post-it note, manually ring everybody back and stay on top of the messages and clean the carpets, do the accounts, make sure you order the chemicals on time, maintain the truck mount, do it all yourself like that, things are going to fall through the cracks. You're going to miss opportunities. You're going to miss inquiries. So the biggest thing that you can do for sales right now is put together some sort of system, leverage technology, things like AI, things like automated messaging, automated text backs, call tech, all this kind of stuff to basically maximize the number of appointments that you've got on your schedule, which is great. And I think that's great advice. So we're going to touch on that in just a few minutes in a little bit more detail. We'll get into those systems in a short while. So that brings me on to the next question for Ryan. And this answer is not going to involve technology at all, and I think this is a huge one. And I'm hoping that Ryan's going to be able to really give you guys some value and a really good answer on this. Let's see. Okay, the AI, the automations, it's book the job while you were asleep. Amazing. You get to the job, you go to the house, you walk into the person's home. This is another amazing opportunity to raise that ticket price and to sell more stuff. Yeah, like if they're just booked in for 3 rooms of carpet, they might have a couch, they might have tile and grout in the kitchen, in the bathroom, they might have a hallway, stairs, other areas that need help, that need work. So the big question is what advice would you give? What tactics would you suggest, Ryan, to help people upsell when they're in the home? I know that some people feel uncomfortable, asking those kind of questions and stuff when they're in the person's house, and it can be a bit of a challenge, cheesy or too salesy. What's your advice for getting upsells?
You asked that question, and John, I have the perfect answer.
Amazing.
Okay, let's take away the cheese. Let's take away the grit. Let's take away the next coolest way to sell something to somebody. Nobody likes to be sold, guys. The first thing you need to do is either text or call Miss Debbie, Miss Brittany, Mr. Fred, and say, hey, Mr. Fred, I'm on my way to your house. Would you guys like a coffee or a cold drink before I get there? You are upselling yourself. You're selling yourself, not the chemicals in the truck, okay? The most success I've ever had with any of my clients, they take it as a whole actual experience, okay? We light the fire, we get them supported, we get them, ready and trusted to talk to you, to get a rate, like John said. That's all great, right? But they have to let a stranger still into their house. So as many touch points as we can have and you can help us with, as far as calling, texting, letting them know you're going to be 15 minutes early or 5 minutes late, they're already opening the door for you, right? That's the next step. And you're already pre-selling the house on top of the 3 rooms and the hallway they actually booked for. So what I'm trying to say to you is look at the long picture in the next 2 hours instead of getting in there, being an order taker, and having a McDonald's wage, guys. What do they do on a microphone? How can I help you? Yes, right? Get them to open up. And I'm going to leave this question with something a little bit more emotional, personal, but it's exactly because every sale is made with emotion, guys. It starts with emotion. And I had an exact problem in my house. I had 15 vents. So for those who do air duct cleaning, they quoted me. I accepted the quote, right? But what they did that excelled the next competitor was asked questions. They asked questions to both parties. Hey, tell me a little bit more about what you've done with the house since you've lived here, Mom. To my mom, to my dad, whoever. Well, guess what? The $400 ticket turned into a $1,900 ticket because we found we had mold that they were going to go ahead and do a free audit of our mold assessment. That's a $1,500 upsell that started with something small. Because
let's take a step back there. Just to clarify this for everybody watching. So you had an air duct cleaning company come out to your home. They gave you a quote, you accepted it. When they got into your house, they started asking you some questions, and those questions then opened the door to the upsell and ticket, correct? What kind of questions were they asking?
Said, have you guys ever, because it was air, have you guys ever had any, air issues with your health? So they went right to the personal issue of the person, right? I noticed what they were asking me. Have you ever had your vents cleaned? When was the last time you had them cleaned? This was all ammunition this guy was collecting from my mom, she wasn't into sales. She was just there to get her vents cleaned, right? But the more he learned about her, he didn't want to disservice her by at least asking. If you're not getting no or no thank you, then you're not doing something right, because there's more on the table. You're just being an order taker, guys. You've got to ask questions to get to the pain and actually find out what exactly it is, because that's how you increase the ticket.
So basically, long story short, guys, if you're watching this and you don't want to you feel a bit uncomfortable asking for the upsell and you don't want to come across as too salesy, the advice is basically go in there and ask the customer questions without asking for the sale. So that's a lovely couch. What year did you buy it? Oh, right. Wow. Do you know what's it made of? Oh, it's cotton. Yeah. When was the last time you had that clean? And, do you sit here often? Do you notice that when you're sat here that you have any breathing problems or you're itchy or anything like that? Does the dog sit on the couch with you? Those kind of questions can then lead to that person say, how much would it actually cost to get that cleaned actually, without you actually having to ask them? I guess that's what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah. So like I said, without staying cheesy, John said it right. Look around you. Do you see things that could contaminate the issue that you could offer them to clean? A lot of traffic through the house. Understand it might be summertime where you are, or wintertime. There's always a reason. There's always a problem. They just overlook it. Your job is to kind of look at the whole picture. Like John said, when you walk into the house, everything should be an opportunity at that point, other than just the lead offer that they were quoted on.
One of the best pieces of advice that I give to carpet cleaners that I've worked with and mentored over the years when it comes to upsells, and I still stand by this every day. Go on Amazon, go and buy yourself a UV. It's going to cost you $50, maybe $100 for a good one. I don't know. It's not going to be lots of money. And then when you're in the home, make sure you carry that UV light with you. And when you're with the customer, just say, listen, this isn't just about cleaning your carpets. It's about health and safety. And you've got kids running around here. You've got children, you've got pets and your own health to think about. So what I'd like to do is I just want to use this special bit of cutting edge technology. And you can really kind of hype this up with your kind of marketing skills and say, I want to use this cutting edge bit of technology, this UV light, just to kind of pull up the high traffic areas that are going to need the most attention. Just going to need to switch the light off, close the curtains, and put this light on. Is that okay? Yeah, great. You do that and watch the couch light up like a Christmas tree with all of the fluids that are being illuminated by this UV light. Suddenly that customer's like, oh my God, is that what my couch looks like under the UV light?
Whole new world.
How much would it cost to get that done? And then you show them the hallway and they're, oh my God, that looks disgusting. Is that what my carpet looks like in the hallway? How much would it cost to add that on? And so the UV light without you even having to ask for the upsell. It just shows them. It just literally illuminates all the dirt, all the crap, all the grime that's in that carpet. Just illuminates it, shows up like a Christmas tree. And so when they see that, when they see how dirty it is, without you even having to ask for the upsell, they're going to be asking you to do that. How much extra would it cost to add that on? So that's a really good bit of advice as well. And now I just want to touch back on, what we were speaking about earlier, about working with Carpet Boost AI. You will have heard Ryan talking about the need for systems and processes and automations and AI and stuff like that. I can imagine for a lot of carpet cleaners watching this, all this AI stuff, and like AI is going to, take over your job, or your business is going to close down unless you invest in AI, can be a really daunting prospect and can be very scary. And, when you're the kind of person that's great with your hands and great on the tools, maybe not so good with technology, you've got no idea where to start, when it comes to implementing this kind of thing. And so it can be a major, major worry. That's where we come in. We can implement those SOPs, those systems, those processes, that technology that Ryan was talking about earlier. We can implement a system that makes sure every single inquiry gets answered instantaneously, 24/7, so that you can have a lie-in with your wife on Sunday morning, or your husband, so that you can go to the park with the kids knowing that any jobs that come in are going to get booked with the AI system. And also in the knowledge that you've got experts that are taking care of that and looking after that for you. And that's one less thing that you need to worry about. And so definitely that's something that we can help you with, implementing these systems. And if generally, like, it's a matter of not just having the systems in place to handle the inquiries, you've got a lack of inquiries coming through as well, we can absolutely help you with filling the schedule. So if any of this resonates with you on this video today, do head down to the link in the description, do book a call. You're going to get to have some one-on-one time with Ryan. He's going to build a complete blueprint for your business, for your carpet cleaning business, to take it to that next level. And at the end of it, we're going to give you our ebook that literally covers all of our marketing strategies. So even if you don't decide to work with us, you're going to get that ebook completely free of charge just for showing up to the meeting, so that you can implement those strategies by yourself. So do reach out to us if you do need our help getting more jobs, implementing some of the stuff that we're talking about today. And that just leaves me really to just ask Ryan one sort of last question. What should be your final piece of advice for carpet cleaners? When I say advice, it doesn't necessarily have to be sales advice. If you could give one piece of advice to a carpet cleaner that's watching this today, what would that be?
So I touched on it earlier. Get into a system. Again, being non-biased, obviously, we'd love to have your attention. We'd love to share what we do. But I just do the raw data when it comes to what's working, what's not. People have systems in place. They're profiting each month by, multiple margins. And the last thing I'll tell you, and get off of the sales train for a second, get into an actual thank you with a personal gift or a personal card, just thanking them for their business. You will have a long-term value proposition when 4 or 5 days later, they say, hey, Miss Leslie, we really appreciated you trusting us in your home. If there's anything else that we can do for you, let us know, and leave it at that. You'll be surprised, out of every 10 people you do, the 3, 4, 5x people that come back with an easy yes, I'm ready to book with you. So I hope that helps, and non-evasive. So that would be really a great ad.
So we're talking about sort of gifting, like a little thank you gift for them being a customer, just to kind of build that rapport and stuff. What would you say for carpet cleaners watching this? I mean, what would you say? Are we talking like a gift card, like for Starbucks? Are we talking about sending a box of donuts to their house? What I'm thinking here is, obviously, especially with owner operators that are busy and stuff, obviously it needs to be something that's quite easy to do. My thoughts would be maybe just buy like a bunch of like $5 Starbucks gift cards or whatever, and that's something that can easily be sent out. It's very affordable, and it just builds that rapport. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, I've got a better, kind of third party system I've been using for years. And you'd ask for advice, and what has built my CRM to multiple thousands of people over the last almost 10 years with John. It's because I have decades of relationships. And, what I use is it's a subscription like you use for Netflix or anything else. You pay it monthly. You can send out as many cards as you want, and they're real live cards. You can write any kind of note that you want. You can send, a little $5 or $10 gift card. You don't have to.
Cool.
I
Very
think a
cool.
card for those owner operators is more than enough. And you can
Sure.
send hundreds of them per month with the jobs that you're getting, at no extra charge. They're
What's
literally a couple, 50, 80 cents a card when it's come down to it. But the more you talk to people to their heart, it's harder to say no, right? They know that you care. Ask them if the last plumber sent them a card.
Absolutely.
You got to be unique, guys. You have to be different.
Absolutely. What's the name of that company so people watching this can look
That
it up?
one is promptings or send out cards. I've been using them as just a customer to help build, relationships, value, give them something to remember you as. If you've seen their picture, something that was really important to them, take a picture, like a selfie with them, send them, send that to them. How can you be memorable into their mind? Stick that on their actual. You know how many places I've done business with? I walked in and my name or my face is like selfied on their bulletin for the day. It's because nobody else is making them happy. You make them joke, you make them happy, and you send them home with something to remember you by.
Amazing, amazing. And if anyone wants to look out the way to send out cards and gift cards automatically, Send Out Cards is the name of the company, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, listen, Ryan, thank you for being a guest on the show. Some really good
You're welcome.
actionable.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, there's been some really good actionable advice. If you are watching this for the first time, if it's your first time on the channel, do hit the like and a subscribe button. We've got some awesome guests coming up that are going to really be dropping even more advice, hints and tips to help you grow your carpet cleaning business. We don't want you to miss out on that. So do hit the like and the subscribe button. And if you'd like to work with us to help you grow your carpet cleaning business, the link's in the description. Book a call. Like I said, you're going to get some one-on-one time with Ryan. He's a gold mine in information, and we'd love to chat with you. So see you on the next video, guys. Peace.